The number of people putting a ring on it is falling, and they might be missing out on a potential health benefit. We've got our 9 News medical expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, here today to talk about this new study that's come out that says matrimony may actually be linked to a lower risk of cancer, of all things.
Okay, so anytime a study comes out, right, everybody who hears it automatically internalizes it.
Yes.
What does this mean for me? So my first thought was, well, I've been married for 25 years.
Wonderful.
Is there some kind of shield against cancer for me? Or?
So my first thought, Phil, was I'm not married.
Right.
Whoa, maybe I should get married. So really what they did is they took 100 million American adults and they said 30 is the average age of getting married. So let's look from 30 onwards and see who got cancer. And being married was associated with a lower risk of cancer. And if you look at men, it was 70% higher for men that weren't married and 85% higher for women that weren't married. And it's interesting that you say you've been married a long time because it's thought to be a cumulative protective effect.
Ooh,
so as you get older, the protection gets even higher. So people over the age of 50 or 55 had more of a protective benefit than younger people.
Interesting. I wonder how race plays a role, right? Because like Caucasian couples generally get married a little younger.
Yeah.
Other races sometimes will skew older. Like, how does race play in?
Yeah, so they looked at this, and so black unmarried men had the highest risk. But the good news there is that if the black men did get married, the effect of marriage was very protective. In fact, their risk was then lower than married white men. So I think there is some dichotomies with race, largely due to culture, I think.
I mean, I know you focus on health, and the study certainly didn't focus on this, but after being married all these years, and I'm sure you can attest to this as well with your husband, I feel like I'm healthier because I'm married to a woman.
And that's
like
exactly
my
right.
wife takes care of me. She
Yes.
tells me
Her
what to
job.
eat, right? Like eat this, it's
my job.
healthier, right?
Yeah, so take care of your husband.
I feel like that's part of it. Like when
That's
you have
a
someone
huge
looking
part
after
of
your
it.
health.
Yeah, so it's association versus causation. So it's not like, as you said, marriage is putting a shield around you.
Right.
But it's interesting because if you look at the types of cancers that you got more of, a lot of them were preventable by screening. A lot of them were preventable with less alcohol use and less cigarette use. So being married makes you take better care of yourself. You have somebody bugging you to get your screenings. And part of it, if you look at men, they had a 5 times higher risk of anal cancer if they weren't married. That's due to HPV exposure, likely. Women had a 3 times higher risk of cervical cancer, also due to HPV exposure. And of course, women who aren't married may have more reproductive cancers because the ovarian cancers, uterine cancers can go up if you haven't carried any pregnancies. But the preventable cancers related to smoking and alcohol, all higher. So I do think your wife takes care of you, but you also take care of her, probably.
I think so.
Yes.
It's definitely not 50-50, though, I'll tell you that much.
No.
70-30, I think.
This is interesting. So talk to our single folks out there. What are your takeaways and how can they, you know, I mean, you can't just tell everybody to get married, Dr. Kohli, to not get cancer. So
No,
what
but
would
she
you
just said she was
say?
going to get married because
No,
of the study.
Well,
No.
it is one way.
Alex is totally right. So I'm not going to run out there and get married because marriage is not going to protect me from cancer. But what I am going to do is pay more attention to screening and to preventable risk factors as a single person, because that means you do have a bit of a target sign on you. You don't have that built-in support network. You don't have a lot of the you know, go get your screening, take care of yourself, eat well, don't drink as much, sleep better. And you've got all the weight of the world on your shoulders by yourself. So that's part of it too. When it comes to finances, when it comes to managing your home, you're kind of doing everything on your own.
No, but that's a great point. When you talk to someone like you and you break down the study, you can take away from the study what it is that's helping married folks out and do it when you're not married.
Well, but the one thing I'm looking for is now people have live-in relationships, they live apart, but they're married. And so what I'm looking and hoping science does is looks in the future and says, okay, do these other types of relationships, not just obviously romantic, but even if you have a same-sex partner or you have a good friend, how do they affect your risk of cancer and heart disease and other
Because you'll get
chronic
that same
Interesting.
advice from those relationships as well.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Dr. Kohli.
Thank you.